After 70, every decision counts more. This is not an exaggeration. It's reality. One wrong word spoken, one poorly chosen meal, a whole day without moving. Things that used to go unnoticed now leave a mark. And some mistakes, even if small at first, can come to mark a before and after. And after that, many times, can no longer be undone. Today, I want to talk to you about 4 common mistakes that thousands of people make every day after 70 years old. And the worst part is, they don't always realize it. They are silent habits, automatic decisions, ways of living that seem normal. Until one day the body, the mind or life presents the bill. I know stories like Arthur's, who was always an active man, full of energy, but who decided to stop walking so much because he thought he no longer needed to. Today, he can barely climb a step without help. Or Mercedes' story, who said loneliness didn't bother her, that she was fine with her memories. But little by little, she faded, became quieter, sadder, until one day she even stopped calling her grandchildren. And it's not that those decisions were bad by themselves. The problem is that at a certain age, everything we stop doing also stops doing us good. One of these mistakes can cost you your independence. Another, your mental health. And if you make them all, the price is even higher, your quality of life. That's why this video is so important. Because it's not about blaming ourselves, but realizing in time. Making the necessary adjustments to live better, not worse. If you're watching this, it's because deep down you know you can still make decisions that make a difference. And the best part is, you don't need radical changes. Just awareness, willpower, and firm steps, even if they are small. Today, we're going to speak clearly, straightforwardly. Because at this age, the last thing we need is sugar-coated truths. What we do need is clarity, wisdom, and companionship. That's why you're here. But before continuing, I'd love to get to know you a little better. Tell me in the comments how old you are and from which country you're watching me. I love knowing who's on the other side and reading their stories. Here, every word counts. Get ready, because what's coming may change how you live the coming years. Mistake 1, stopping movement. The first mistake, and one of the most common, is stopping movement. And no, I'm not just talking about exercising or going to the gym. I mean moving every day. Walking, stretching, climbing some stairs, staying active even with simple things like sweeping, going to the market, or tending the garden. After 70, the body starts sending very subtle signals. A stiffness in the morning, a slight pain when getting up, a feeling of heaviness in the legs at the end of the day. And then you start moving less, taking more breaks, spending more time sitting, and without realizing it, we're opening the door to one of the most dangerous enemies of aging, sedentary lifestyle. The difference between moving and not moving at this age is much deeper than it seems. Because when you move, your muscles stay active, your blood flows better, your heart works rhythmically, and your mind stays sharper. On the other hand, when you stop moving, everything starts to shut down little by little. Your joints become stiff, your muscles weaken, and even your balance deteriorates. What you used to do without thinking now becomes difficult. You feel more tired, clumsier, more vulnerable. Let me tell you the story of Thomas and Ernest. Both are 76 years old. They lived in the same neighborhood for over 50 years. Thomas decided upon retirement to keep walking every day. Nothing extreme, just a walk in the morning and another in the afternoon. Sometimes to the park, sometimes to the market. He also helps around the house, goes up and down stairs, plays with his grandchildren in the yard. Ernest, on the other hand, slowly faded away. He began spending more time watching television. He said he deserved rest, that he had worked enough. He went out less, moved less, started needing help for simple things, getting up from the couch, reaching something on a shelf, going out alone. Today, Thomas still lives alone, cooks, dresses himself, walks without a cane. He has strength in his legs, agility in his arms. He can get on the bus without help. Ernest, on the other hand, depends on his daughter for many things. He tires quickly, can't stand for long anymore. Worst of all, he didn't realize when he started losing his independence. Because that's the problem with sedentary lifestyle. Its consequences don't show immediately. They are silent. First, a bit of stiffness, then a bit more fatigue. After that, a minor fall, a scare. And when you realize it, you can no longer do what used to be natural to you. And we're not talking marathons. Nobody's asking you to run 5 kilometers. What makes a difference is consistency. 10, 20, 30 minutes a day of gentle, mindful movement. Stretching, short walks, balance exercises, climbing stairs, moving your arms. Whatever it is, just move. Because the human body, even at 80, adapts. And if you give it movement, it responds. It strengthens, improves. But if you leave it inactive, it deteriorates much faster than you think. Moving after 70 is not a recommendation, it's a necessity. And if you can still do it, even slowly, do it. Because as long as you keep moving, you keep choosing to live with strength. What happens when you stop moving? When you stop moving, your body starts to speak. At first, quietly. A slight stiffness getting out of bed. A small discomfort bending down. A feeling of heaviness in your legs after sitting for a long time. Nothing serious, you think. Nothing abnormal for this age. But here's the first big mistake. Assuming it's normal when it's actually a warning. When we abandon daily movement, the body doesn't stop. It starts to deteriorate. You lose muscle mass without even realizing it. The strong muscles that once kept you steady begin to shrink. Your arms no longer carry what they used to. Your legs feel less stable. Your balance suffers. A wrong step at home is no longer just clumsiness. It's a real risk. The risk of a fall, a fracture, a hospitalization that can change your life completely. And it's not just strength and stability that are lost. Circulation slows down. Legs swell. The heart works harder, but inefficiently. Blood no longer flows as it should. And what seemed like a well-deserved rest on the couch slowly becomes the start of a vicious circle. The less you move, the less you can move. The less you do, the less energy you have. And so, the body slowly shuts down. But the damage isn't only physical. It's emotional too. When you stop moving, your mood also begins to change. Energy decreases, motivation disappears, and suddenly, without realizing it, you start feeling sadder, dimmer, less yourself. What once brought you joy, a walk, a conversation, a brief outing, now seems like too much effort. Sedentarism and loneliness often go hand in hand, and that combination can be dangerous. Anxiety creeps in, sometimes without clear reason. You wonder why you feel this way, but find no clear answers. Self-esteem weakens. You start seeing yourself as more fragile, less capable. And when that happens, the mind begins to surrender even before the body does. There's a phrase that sums it all up. When you stop using your body, it starts to stop using you. And it's true. Not moving is giving permission to the body to stop, to weaken, to forget what it was like to be strong, independent, agile. And the most dangerous part is that many people see this as a natural part of aging. It's normal to be more tired. It's normal that everything hurts. It's normal not to feel like going out. But no, it's not normal. It's common, yes, but not inevitable. These symptoms are not a direct result of years, but of abandoning movement. It's not age that takes away our strength. It's inactivity. It's not time that makes us fragile. It's what we stop doing during that time. The good news is this can be reversed. Moving today, even a little, is starting to repair, to recover what seems lost. Your body remembers, your mind responds, and if you give it the chance, it can feel alive again. So if you've noticed these changes in yourself or someone close, don't accept them as a sentence. Observe, recognize, and act. Because the price of not moving is high, but avoiding it is still in your hands. How to recover movement and stay active. You may feel right now that moving isn't as easy as before. Maybe you have pain, feel slower, or have simply lost the habit. But here comes one of the most powerful truths I can share today. It's never too late to start moving again. And we're not talking about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. No, we're talking about regaining control of your body with small, constant, conscious movements. Because the moment you decide to move again, you're making a decision. Your body will thank you for every day going forward. So, where to start? Walk. Walking is one of the most powerful and underrated exercises there is. You don't need equipment. You don't need a gym. You just need your legs and a little willpower. Start with 5 minutes in the morning. Walk around the block. Walk up and down your hallway. Walk inside your house if it's cold or rainy. And little by little, increase. 10 minutes, 15, half an hour. Does that sound like little? Let me tell you this. 15 minutes of daily walking can reduce the risk of heart disease, strengthen muscles, and improve your mood. Do gentle squats. You don't need to go very low. Just stand in front of a chair, sit down slowly, and stand back up. Do it 5 times, then 10. This strengthens your legs, improves your balance, and gives you a safer base to move in your daily life. Remember, the important thing is not intensity, it's consistency. Stretch your body. Every morning upon waking, take 3 minutes to stretch. Reach your arms toward the ceiling. Gently turn your neck from side to side. Stretch your legs while sitting. Stretching improves your mobility, relieves pain, and prepares your body to move more easily. Dance. Do you like music? Put on your favorite song, the one from your youth, the one that makes you smile as soon as it plays, and move, even if just with gentle steps, even sitting down. Dancing is not just physical exercise, it's joy in motion. It's life expressed through the body. And now I want you to hear these stories. Mary, 79 years old. She spent years with knee pain, sitting most of the day. She thought she was beyond help. But one day, she decided to walk to her mailbox, then to the corner, then a walk around the park. Today she walks 40 minutes every day and climbs stairs again without help. She says, "Life came back to my legs." Julian, 83. He lived alone and said he felt old, slow, disconnected. One day, his granddaughter taught him a gentle routine of stretching and seated dancing. They did it together via video call. In 1 month, Julian regained mobility, energy, and most importantly, desire. Today, he dances every Saturday with a group of neighbors and says, "Thanks to that, I felt like I can still enjoy what I love." And it doesn't matter if you're 70, 80, or even 90 years old. As long as you keep moving, you keep living. Remember this, your body is waiting for a signal from you. It doesn't demand perfection. It only asks one thing: don't abandon it. And every step you take, no matter how small, will be a victory. So start today. Move for yourself, for your independence, for your health. Move because you can. And as long as you do, your body will stay with you, step by step. The silence that steals your joy, the mistake of social isolation. Sometimes it's not that you want to be alone, it's that you believe you have nothing left to offer. You think your stories no longer interest, your opinions no longer count, your words no longer fill spaces like before. So little by little, without realizing it, you're silencing your voice. You stay home, you stop calling, you stop going out, and at the end of the day, silence becomes habit. But it shouldn't. The second big mistake many seniors make after 70 is social isolation. And the most dangerous part is that isolation doesn't always come with sadness. Many times it disguises itself as peace, as routine. "I'm fine like this," you tell yourself. "I don't need to see anyone today. I prefer to be at peace." And yes, peace is beautiful. But when silence extends for weeks, when routine no longer changes, when you don't hear a new voice in days, then it's not peace. It's abandonment. Recent studies have shown that social isolation increases the risk of cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and depression in older adults. And not only that, it can be as harmful to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Its impact is that strong, and the worst part is it happens silently. No fever, no visible wounds, but inside, the heart slowly dims, because humans were made to be connected. Let me tell you the story of Ernest. Ernest was 78 years old when his wife passed away. She was his life partner, his friend, his routine, his reason to get up every morning. After she left, Ernest shut himself off. He stopped going to the senior center. He no longer answered calls, barely went out to shop. "I'm fine alone," he said. "I don't feel like talking to anyone anymore." At first, his family respected his mourning, but after months, they noticed something else. Ernest no longer laughed. His gaze had become dim. He spent his days in front of the TV, inattentive, emotionless, without hope. Every visit he received lasted less, and every conversation more empty. Until one day, his 12-year-old granddaughter called him on a video call, not to ask how he was, but to read him a story. And something inside Ernest lit up. It wasn't an immediate change, but little by little he reopened the door. He began hearing new voices again, sharing stories, giving advice, and most importantly, feeling part of something. Social isolation is not just being alone. It's feeling disconnected from the world, feeling like you no longer matter. And that, over time, not only dims the soul, it also harms the body. Because there is no medicine more powerful than a sincere conversation, no vitamin more revitalizing than a shared laugh, and no therapy more effective than feeling useful, heard, valued. If you're watching this video and haven't spoken to anyone in days, if you spend more time in silence than in company, make the effort. Call, write, go out, even if just to watch the world go by. Because out there are still people who want to listen to you. And inside, you still have a lot to say. What isolation does to body and mind. When silence becomes routine, something else starts happening. You don't just stop hearing voices, you stop hearing your own. Little by little, without realizing it, your mind slows down. Memories don't come as quickly, ideas don't flow the same. You begin forgetting small details, and the most alarming, you don't care as much to remember them anymore. Depression doesn't always come with tears. Sometimes it disguises itself as indifference. I don't feel like it today. What's the point of going out if no one's waiting? I'm better like this, calm. But that calm starts to weigh, and it weighs on the whole body. Because when you're alone for a long time, your immune system also gets depressed. Yes, literally. Your body lowers its guard. You get sick more often. Colds last longer. Wounds take longer to heal. And any ailment feels stronger. Medical studies confirm this again and again. Isolation in seniors accelerates cognitive decline, affects memory, causes sleep disorders, and increases the risk of chronic diseases like hypertension and diabetes. Why? Because the mind needs stimuli, the body needs purpose, and the soul needs connection. And here's something important. You don't need a crowd to heal this. One call can be enough. A sincere, "How are you?" A 10-minute chat. A laugh shared with someone on the other side of the line. That can change everything. Do you know why? Because in that moment, you feel seen. You feel you still belong to something, that you still matter. And that feeling reignites a part of you you thought was off. Here's a real example. In Japan, a country with a very aged population, many elderly live alone. But in a small town, they created a program where volunteers called seniors just to chat for 10 minutes a day. The result? Reduced anxiety symptoms, improved memory, and fewer hospital admissions. 10 minutes of human voice a day. That was all. Because no matter how old you are, or how many grey hairs you have, we are social beings inside, even if the body ages outside. Your neurons don't need advanced technology to activate. They only need a conversation, a shared memory, a story someone wants to hear, a connection, even if brief. And you can start healing that loneliness today. You don't have to wait for someone to call you. Pick up the phone yourself. Walk to that bench where your neighbor sits. Ask the supermarket cashier a question. Greet whoever you meet on the street. Every small gesture counts. Every spoken word breaks down a bit of the wall that isolation builds around you. Don't let silence steal what life still wants to give you. There are people who miss you, even if they don't say it. There are conversations waiting for you. And a part of your mind and body still wants to stay alive. It just needs you to open the door. How to reconnect, even if you live alone. Living alone doesn't mean living in loneliness. And no, it's not too late. You're not out of time. You're not finished. You're here, breathing, feeling, hearing this. That means there's still something to build. Someone still needs what you have to give. Maybe you think it's too late to make new friends. Maybe you think no one's interested in knowing an older person. But let me tell you something you need to hear. Making friends after 70 is possible. And not just possible. It's necessary. You just need to know where to start. One of the most effective ways to reconnect with the world is to look for places where other seniors are also seeking the same as you. Company, conversation, a shared routine. Many community centers offer senior groups, daily activities, classes, workshops, and organized walks. Do you know the biggest obstacle to entering one of those places? The thought, I don't fit in. It's for others. That's not for me. But everyone there thought the same at first. And today they laugh together, do yoga, paint, dance, or simply sit and have coffee and talk about life. Another wonderful option is volunteering. You don't need to be in perfect physical condition to help. You can read stories in a school, accompany hospitalized people, prepare food at a foundation, or simply share your experience in intergenerational programs. When you give, you realize how much you're still worth, and the world gives it back to you. Is it hard for you to move, or do you have no options nearby? Use technology to your advantage. Yes, it can be scary at first, but if you learn to live in times when there was no phone, you can learn to use a cell phone. There are WhatsApp groups for seniors, family video calls, YouTube channels to learn new things, and even online communities where you can make real friends. No matter if you're 80 or 90, curiosity has no expiration date. And you know what? Learning something new in community is one of the most powerful ways to regain vitality. A cooking course, a painting class, or even learning to use a computer in a senior group can open doors to new conversations, new friendships, and new emotions. Does it seem strange to think about making a new friend at this age? Let me tell you something. Mrs. Rosario was 83 years old, widowed, no children nearby, and a very quiet life. One day she dared to join a writing course for seniors. At first, she didn't know anyone. She sat alone, silently. But little by little, she started reading her texts, listening to others, and laughing at the stories of a 78-year-old woman who was also new. Today, they have lunch together every Tuesday. And when asked how she is, Rosario says something she hadn't said in years. I'm accompanied. Because it doesn't matter how many years you've lived. What matters is how you choose to live the ones to come. If today you feel lonely, don't think about what you lost. Think about what you can still gain. The first step can be uncomfortable. It can be embarrassing. But on the other side of that step, there are people like you waiting for the same gesture. And if you take the first step, maybe you're opening the door for someone else who also didn't know how to start. Today can be the day you decide to belong again. Today can be the day you unknowingly start the friendship that will change your coming years. The double neglect that can cost you your freedom. Let's move on to the third mistake. One silent but deadly. Neglecting your mind. After 70, many think, I don't have to learn anything new anymore. But that thought is the beginning of decline. Do you know what happens when you spend hours watching television, without talking to anyone, without reading, without writing, without thinking actively? Your mind starts to shut down. Not all at once, not overnight, but a little more every day. First, you forget where you left your keys. Then you have trouble following a conversation. Afterward, you realize you don't even remember what you ate yesterday. And one day, you look in the mirror, and you no longer feel fully present. It's not an exaggeration. It's real. Cognitive decline accelerates when we don't use our brain. It's like a muscle. If you don't exercise it, it weakens. But here comes the good news. You can also strengthen it. And you don't need a university degree to do it. Start with something simple. Read one page of a book every day. Choose a topic that interests you. History, health, novels, stories. Reading awakens parts of the brain that fall asleep with routine. It makes you imagine, remember, associate ideas. And that keeps your thinking alive. Another wonderful tool, writing. A journal, your memories, letters to your grandchildren, reflections, gratitude lists. It doesn't matter if you write neatly or make mistakes. What matters is that you think while writing, that you let out what's inside you. Feeling up for more, learn something new. Yes, right now. Learn to use a cell phone, cook a new recipe, identify plants, draw. Each new skill activates neural circuits that help maintain lucidity and, above all, regain confidence in yourself. And don't forget games, word searches, puzzles, crosswords, cards, dominoes. They are not just pastimes. They are mental exercise. Don't become a spectator of your own life. Your mind can still be brilliant if you feed it curiosity. The fourth mistake, neglecting your finances. Now the fourth mistake, one no one wants to admit, but many make, neglecting finances. Blindly trusting my children will take care of everything can go very wrong. Not because your children are bad people, but because when there's no clarity, misunderstandings appear, tensions, and in some cases, abuse. I've seen too many cases where a senior lost their house, savings, pension, simply for not reviewing what they signed, or for leaving everything in someone else's hands, without asking, without demanding explanations. Sometimes abuses don't come from outside. They come from family. A grandchild who asks for money borrowed and never returns it. A child who sells a property without consulting. A caregiver who empties your wallet little by little while you sleep. And the worst part is many seniors don't report out of shame, because they're afraid of being alone, because they feel it's too late to claim. But it's not. The solution starts with something simple: order. Make a clear list of your income, expenses, and properties. Keep a folder with all your important documents, deeds, will, insurance, bank accounts. And above all, talk with your family. Tell them what you want, what you don't want, who can make decisions if you can't, and what must be respected no matter what. If you feel you can't do it alone, seek help. There are lawyers specialized in seniors. There are social workers who can guide you. Even in many cities, there are municipal offices that advise you for free. Don't stay silent. Don't give up everything without knowing, because if you lose control of your finances, you can also lose your autonomy, and with it, your peace of mind. Remember this: it's not about distrusting everyone. It's about protecting what has cost you so much to build. Your memories, your mind, and your financial peace are part of your legacy. Protect them as the most valuable thing you have, because they are. It's never too late to recover what matters. Moving, connecting, thinking, planning. At first glance, they seem like small things, routines, gestures, habits. But after 70, they are not small. They are acts of self-love, acts of survival, and also of wisdom. Because each of these acts says something very clear. I'm still here. I still choose. I can still live with dignity. Today we talked about the mistakes that affect seniors the most. Locking yourself at home thinking it's safer. Distancing yourself from others and isolating without realizing it, letting the mind shut down by not using it, and losing control of the little or much you have by not informing yourself, by not planning. Mistakes that are not always visible, that many times become normalized, and that, unknowingly, dim the most valuable things you have: your freedom, your strength, your joy. But if you've made it this far, if you heard every word, it's because something inside you remains awake. And that, friend on the other side of the screen, is the most important thing. Life doesn't end at 70 or 80 or even 90. It ends the day we stop caring for ourselves, learning, connecting. And you're not there. You're searching, listening, reflecting. Maybe today you recognized one of these mistakes in your own life. Maybe more than one. And that doesn't make you weak. It makes you human, because we all make mistakes. What matters is not living stuck in them. That's why I want to invite you to something. Which of these mistakes do you think you're making without realizing it? Share it in the comments, not just to vent, but to help yourself and others. Because when you share your story, another person on the other side of the world can feel less alone, less confused, less lost. Your experience can be light for someone else, and you can also find clarity reading what others share. If this video made you think, if it touched something inside you, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. Here we speak with truth, respect, and kindness. Every week we share reflections, warnings, and advice designed for those who don't give up on time passing. Because it's not just about living longer, it's about living better. And before we go, I want you to keep one idea. The biggest mistake would be believing it's too late to correct. As long as you breathe, you have a chance. As long as you remember, you have power. And as long as your heart beats, you have the right to live a full life. So no matter your age, your story, your physical or emotional state, today you can start over. Today you can get up, move your body, call someone, read a page, organize your papers, look at the sun. Today you can do something that changes your tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving yourself this time. Thank you for still believing what's to come can still be good. See you in the next video. And remember, as long as you breathe, you can decide. You can improve. You can live better.